Hi, and welcome to my case study. This is on student X, and it's a student who has both dyslexia and dysgraphia. So we're about to begin. We'll start with the interaction with the parents. So, my mentor, the grade 5 teacher, and the learning support case manager meet 3 times a year with the parents. So, at the beginning of the academic year, sort of midway in December, and then again at the end of the year in June. And so, what they do is they show the action plan, and I'm going to go over different aspects of what this action plan would entail. And the parents would sign off on it if they're okay with it. So, basically, what we're doing is checking to see if the goals are reasonable and being obtained. In our home life, X has a younger sister in grade 3. And one interesting aspect is that the father is an alumni of this particular school, and he has a learning support history. He did not have a good experience academically with his particular support plan and support team. And so the parents did come with some bias. However, they're more accepting now of the approach that we're taking with student X. I will say that in beginning, they were in denial at first about student X's learning disability because they present as really switched on academically. So again, student X is a special education student with dyslexia and dyscalculia. So dyscalculia is essentially dyslexia, but with numbers. And I'll give you a little infographic about that. So with dyslexia, um, sometimes there's difficulty with segmentation of sounds. Rhyming patterns can be difficult. Students often struggle with grammar and they copy letters out of order. And with dyscalculia, there's difficulty with deconstructing numbers. Number patterns are difficult. Math facts and algorithms are also something that a student might struggle with, and they might copy numbers out of order, which is where dyscalculia is similar to dyslexia, except with math. So for the action plan, we've got it in 4 segments here: accommodations, instruction, scaffolding, and strengths. We'll start with the general accommodations. So we like to give student X some space away from others to do independent work. We group student X with peers who are supportive and make sure student X always has access to reference materials at their tabletop, manipulative reference materials, and also make sure that student X is seated, maybe close to the front of the room near the anchor charts and whiteboards. For instruction, we chunk things down into step by steps using visuals and anchor charts. Bullet points, for example. We provide additional time and home support for this special education student. We consistently involve student X when delivering content. We simplify language, but also there's a balance there. We need to ensure that academic vocabulary is presented as needed. We can also provide additional time and a quiet, removed space, as mentioned in the general accommodations. For scaffolding, we use timers, which are really fantastic and help with concentration and focus. We use graphic organizers for writing. We chunk assignments into more manageable pieces. Teachers and case managers and myself, we all use encouraging language and positive feedback. And we really are focusing on a growth mindset. So the process of the work and not the end result, by saying something like, I see you're working really hard, or tell me how you did that, or even I notice that you might be struggling. Show me a little bit of your process. Student X's strength. So their knowledge of technology is really amazing. I've seen them in class assisting the teacher with technology. They're very sociable, which can also sometimes be a distraction. Creative, compassionate, friendly, and kind. Communication skills are overall good. For approaches to learning, they really are able to think outside the box and they're good with solutions to real life problems. So instead of like academic reading, writing, and arithmetic problems, they're really good at thinking in a macro way. So here we have an example of a student assessment. It might be difficult to see, but student X is on the right. And they even say, um, I'm having trouble understanding the question is written out for one of the responses, or I don't know how to do the numbers is another response. And then I have a student who performed well on the assessment in the left hand side. So, my approach for student X is a flipped classroom. And a flipped classroom is a strategy that increases students' engagement by having student X complete some of the assignments at home, and it actually gives them a sneak preview of what's to come. So, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and